Brian, it is always an honor to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. We have quite a history, 4 years, I think, and I can't wait to jump in.
We do indeed. We do indeed. You were the one that had the courage to put a Plandemic in front of a world audience when the world was shutting everything else down. And for that, we will be forever grateful. Mickey and I are super grateful.
Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. I definitely upset quite a few people in the Alphabet network. I still remember getting a call from someone at YouTube in August. I was actually on holiday in Turkey when they opened up the flights for about a demonetized and they called me up and they kind of read me the riot act and completely demonetized my account, took me out of every partnership program and said, if you pull something like this ever again, then we're going to deplatform you, which they did, but they waited 3 years. So yeah, it was completely worth it is all I have to say. And so again, really a big shout out to you and Mickey for making that incredible film, Plandemic 2. People really need to go watch it and rewatch it because this was August 2020 and you laid out everything that would later now be confirmed as pretty much the same truth that comes out of the White House press room. And that's incredible, really.
Yeah.
We can dive into the movie, but I just wanted to jump in and start with a quote that you said recently, and that was, quote, "You were injected with a thing to make you a customer of Big Pharma that has been in the business of killing the world's citizens since 1604. You went on to say, remember, a third of the people fell for it, a third of the people were coerced, and a third of the people said no," unquote. David, I wanted to understand what you mean by World War III.
Yeah, Brian, this is a great question because we, as anyone who's paying attention knows, we're living in a world where there has been a universal assault on sovereignty of the individual. Liberty is a concept that we now fantasize about, but none of us have it. We have gradations of some form of liberty, but we don't have liberty anywhere. There's no place on earth that currently is embracing principles that were enshrined in the latter part of the 18th century when we said life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness were essential human values. So liberty is out the window. But let's talk very specifically about the hallmarks of what it means to be at world war. This is an extremely important point. If we go back into the Medici era, and a lot of people wouldn't expect me to go there, but there you go, I just went. There was a very famous study done by the Duke of Swiss, and in that study, he looked at how much of a currency had to be undermined in its confidence before a country was functionally no longer sovereign. And this was around the idea of counterfeit as a weapon of warfare. Because it turns out, and by the way, in the United States, for people who pay attention, the reason why the counterfeiting crime in the United States is modulated by the Secret Service in the United States is because counterfeit is seen as an assault on the executive branch of government. It is actually a direct attack on a country. And if you look at what has happened in the last period of time since 2011 going into 2012, I have argued that we have already passed the tipping point that was established in all of the research that was done that said that a currency, once it's destabilized, once more than 3 or 4% of the circulating currency is counterfeit, at that point in time, we don't have a functioning state. The reason why I point this out is if we recall during the COVID alleged pandemic, we saw this uncanny and nearly irrational printing of money. Not money that existed. It was money that just we made up. We just decided print more. But we also stopped reporting, Brian, a couple of the very important reporting mechanisms that we used to do to record the quality of our monetary policy. We stopped reporting the velocity of money. We stopped reporting the actual degree to which circulating currency was actually supporting real business. And what we did was we counterfeited a currency, which is an act of war. We then convinced the rest of the world to counterfeit currencies, by the way, and we created what are called synthetic drawing rights. And these things are funny money. They're like a monopoly exchange that people can get into or not at will. We saw counterparty currency agreements drafted between countries like India and China, Saudi Arabia and China, these bilateral currency agreements and trade agreements. And so if we look at the fundamentals of what does it mean to be at war, let's look at the fundamentals. Number one, we have a lack of sovereign nation state status. Number two, we have a depression or suppression of liberty. And number three, we have the erosion of currency confidence and trade confidence. And we met those standards entirely by the time we hit the beginning of this pandemic. So when we're technically in a world war, not only do I mean that, but we have another problem which is more insidious. And that is, across the entirety of the United States and Europe, we are actually currently watching our small businesses, we are watching our farmers, we are watching all sorts of industries being crushed out of existence by commercial restrictive trade practices, dumping practices, and all sorts of other things. In fact, our monetary and our economic policy and strength have been entirely hijacked by what we refer to generally as the Belt Road Initiative. And what this tangibly means is that while we may say that we have aircraft carriers and we have certain numbers of boots on the ground that we can deploy at a military level, the functional case can be made that since 2012, and certainly codified in 2020 with a coup in the United States, and let's call a coup what it is. And the reason I call it a coup is because beginning in September 19th of 2019, the public health infrastructure of the United States intended to and ultimately prevailed in the overthrow of the democratic process of changing power in the United States. Let's be very clear. When you cannot go to the polls, when you cannot elect people, you cannot have gatherings of people to debate policy, you cannot have any of the tools of democracy, and then you run into a vote which has no ability to be verified because it's done in electronic forms, it's done in delayed and early and absentee balloting and all of the things that we did. The reason I say this is a coup is not sympathetic to one party or the other party. I'm simply saying that the democratic transition of power was impossible when you could go to polls. You could not stand in lines unless you were 6 feet apart. You couldn't be informed. You couldn't have public debate. You couldn't have any of the tools of democracy, which means that the transition of power, regardless of its outcome, was the overthrow of the democratic process of the United States. So by every definition, by December 2020, we were in a war. And the part that's most tragic is the fatality count is already higher than the wars that we call wars in our memorable lifetime. More people have been casualties of this war, but the difference is that the agencies through which they're killed are delivered in lab coats and stethoscopes and hospitals. And because we're not paying attention to what the armaments look like, and because we don't look at what the uniforms look like, we're waiting to see tanks in the streets. And we don't see that this was a biological war unleashed on the global population, and we are in the middle of it. This is World War III.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future. Hi, it's Brian Rose from London Real. You probably know that we've just recently been re-platformed on YouTube after 25 months completely in the dark. The truth is, I really need your help. What I really need you to do is click on that subscribe button right now, like this video, and maybe even leave a comment or share the link with friends. We're really fighting against an algorithm that's tried to keep us quiet for so long. And the more subscribers we have, the more people watch our content, the better guests we can bring you, the better content, and we can continue transforming lives. We've been doing this for 14 years now. I want to do this for another 14 years, but I really need your help. So click on that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share this, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more great content. Thank you. Most people will never see this opportunity. Dubai luxury transformation projects have historically delivered 40 to 90% annual returns. That is incredible. These were once reserved only for insiders with access. I spent 15 years on Wall Street and I learned this. The biggest returns always go to the people who get the call first. Now, you finally can. We've just received a brand new project with major upside potential. Allocations move fast. Click the link, apply now, and speak to my team. This is your chance to see what others never will.